I'm having the change from showing bulbs or plants or any other odd thing that I put up. I have always been interested in these lamps. They are American. All the ones I've got I actually bought in England. They turned up at various flea markets, boot sales. I think the reason they turn up here is that a certain bulb is no longer available. Well, I say no longer, it isn't available in England, and that's the 3 light bulb that fits into the large mogul socket which we have there. What I'm going to do is have a little run through. It might take a little bit of time, I hope not, but it's in the process of being stripped down. The other part of the lamps in the workshop, and what we'll do is work through how we wire it up, how we get it to work, how we test it, and how we make sure the wires go to the right prongs of the actual plug. I should be using what's called a non-polarised plug, so that it will be restored to what it was in the 1930s or thereabouts. But having said that, I have to make sure that the live side or the hot side goes to the centre of the sockets. This is to prevent shock if you happen to touch the outer sleeve of the lamp, which would be possible. And as I say, we'll be over a period of a little time. This one here is to show just what the old wiring's like. It is completely perished, very, very old. The wire that is in here, this is the wire that was terminated inside, and as you can see, it's silk covered and rubberized come plastic outer insulation on this zip cable. It's as you can see, there's markings on the cable, but to my eye they look the same, so it's not even a polarized cable, at least I don't think it is. Although having said that, it probably is. If you look very careful, there's a line running down the side of the actual cable. Now that gives an idea what side of the plug it's to be wired. But anyhow, the new wire that I'm going to put on it is off of a fairly old extension lead, so it keeps the authenticity there. So anyhow, that's all for this time, but I will be coming back and I'll show you how we strip it down, how we take out the 3-way switch, how we fix the little... Now I have to be careful what I say here, because the terminology for America is slightly different from England, so if I get the terminology wrong, please accept my apologies. I will try and make sure it is right. Anyhow, this will do for this time. When we come back, we'll take out the old wires, the 3-way switch, and we'll take it from there. Thank you. As you can see, we've pulled out all the actual wiring. We've got the little 3-way switch. We've undone that and taken it out. The large holder we've taken out. Inside you can see the 2 centre contacts, because the lamp has two filaments. They're normally 100, 200, 300s. So the first filament's 100, the second filament's 200, and you join the two together. That's the inner and outer is connected. You get the full brightness of 300 watts. Now, what I always do if I'm ever taking anything to bits is to always write down how it's wired up. Alright, I'm pretty okay with the wiring, but it's always easiest to write it all down, and then hopefully there'll be no mistakes. To make it easier, I put it on a piece of paper. Now, this switch here represents the small switch which lights the outer 3 lamps. This too is also a 3-way switch. On the first turn, on the first switch on, all the lamps come alight. On the second, just 2, and on the third, 1. The fourth position, it's off. Now, coming to the main lamp, the first position, they're both on. So it's off, and then you turn it on to the first position, both lights light. The second position, the inner contact is energised, and on the next switch the outer is energised. So that would come on, presumably, the first switch full brilliance, second is the second brilliance, and third is the third brilliance, or the lowest wattage. A schematic diagram, always do this. The way they're joined up, obviously you've got to make sure you put the wires to the right contacts, in as much as the brass contact is always hot or live. This is only, as far as I know, what the Americans use. If you're watching it in England, this would be the live side. The other side is the neutral side, and the middle is the actual switch to the main light. The hot or live side goes off to your lead, which goes to the plug. It's teed off on the brass terminal and goes to the 3-way switch, which is orange. Out of the 3-way switch you've got a grey wire. Well, it looks grey, it's sort of greeny greyish, and that goes to a nut, wire nut, branches into 2 and goes to 2 of the actual lamps, the 2 of the smaller lamps. The third lamp is this wire we see coming along at the top, and that goes to the black. That feeds your 3 lights, 1, 2, 3. The other side of the switch, or the orange side, which I may have mentioned, goes to the hot. Now the other side, which is the 3 outer shells, or where the bulb screws in, the outer part, which is the part you could inadvertently touch, obviously goes to the neutral side, as does the large holder, which I didn't mention. So we've got your 3 neutrals go to a wire nut up and connect to the neutral terminal on the large lamp holder. This then goes off to your plug. This in America would in fact be a white lead. That would be at the neutral's white, and the live or hot is black. I think I got that round the right way, which is slightly different to England, because the black was always neutral in England, but here, or in America, it's in fact black. If it is wrong, someone will correct me, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Yeah, the white goes to the outer, which is neutral, and the centres are all blacks. I hope I'm right. Anyhow, I will check that. I'm pretty sure I'm right. but I will check that. Anyhow, the next instalment will show the actual wiring up, but before I mention that, as these are switches, they could go faulty. So before doing all the work, get an ohm meter like we have here, a simple ohm meter with two probes. As you touch the probes together, the meter goes across, and just test your continuity with each switch. So obviously each time it's clicked, a different operation should take place. Same with your large holder. So that's all for this time. The next stage will be the actual wiring it up. I'm hoping I've got the colour code right. I think I have. The live side, or the hot side, is black, and the neutral side is white. Anyhow, thanks so far. I'll get back to you with a bit more later. Thank you again. Right, we've now fitted the new cable we're going to use. I can show you the plug at the end, which is the normal plug. I was going to use a non-polarised plug, but this was the only one I could find. So you can see there's two blades. The narrow blade is the live or the hot side, and we have to make sure that that side goes through your two switches, enabling only the centre contacts to be live. Anyhow, what I've done next, the wire's been pushed through the stem. That's the base. We've screwed on this larger part, probably got a name, I don't know what it is, but it's the bit that holds the small switch, and the new cable, which is new old stock really, because it's off of quite an old fitting, but it's safe, it's not perished, and it's ready to go. You'll notice that I put what they call an underwriter's knot. This is there to prevent the cable getting pulled from the end, and it keeps it intact. It acts like a cable clamp, and we just put a simple knot called an underwriter's knot. The next job will be to wire it up, and that's what we're going to show next. Right, the wires are all ready for terminating. As an extra precaution, we put in the white neutral line that will terminate on the large holder, and they use what they call a wire nut. I've put an extra piece of insulation around it just as added precaution, because it's possible the bare wires might just be peeping out. It's well in, it's well tight. Also, one of the other leads, the outer was frayed, not the inner conductor. That was okay, just the outer was frayed. So rather than cut it shorter, I put a bit of tape around it. The wire we have to use to differentiate between the hot and neutral, as I said before, the narrow pin is the live or hot, and that goes to the wire which has the, on the left hand side it's like a line, the right hand side, which is the neutral side, is like a patterned with many lines, but we want to pick up for the live side the one with those little dashes, and that's what we'll do next. Also, while we're on these things, also check that the contacts are nice and clean. The holders, as you can see, this one is a little bit grubby inside. It's probably been standing somewhere for many years. It's collected dirt, so we will dust that out with a little brush. Also, these Leverton holders are held on by two little screws. Make sure they're tight. Also, the terminal screws We have the brass side which goes to the centre contact, which is hot. That one's still loose, that wants to be tightened up. Now we will wire it up and get it all ready. We've got the underwriter's knot in so that the cable will not pull through. Right, final adjustments, everything's checked out. The light appears to be working. I can show you the 3 lamps. These are 240 volt lamps, so that's why they're a different shape. I can show them all working as I suspected. First turn they all light up, second 2, third 1. Now as this is being used on 240 volts, and as far as I know they don't manufacture a 3 light lamp that will work on 240. I have had to cheat. Also, I haven't got the proper milk type shade for this one. This is something I'm going to have to look out on eBay. One's bound to turn up, so we're going to put in one of these Philips compact lamps. But as you can see, the holder is obviously much too large. So fortunately, with this lamp came a reducer. The only problem is, although it's not a problem in this case, the reducer will only reduce to a single pole. Although they do make 3 light lamps in a medium base, if you were to put a 3 lamp light into this holder and then into the main lamp, it would not work as a 3 light lamp. This is just a point that I'm bringing up, but for my case it will, so we will try that out. Now finally the completed lamp with the centre lamp now put in. We will try it out. As it's a single type of lamp, it's not a 3-way, it will only work on certain positions. So the first click, nothing. The second click, it will light. The third click, still a light, and it turns off. So, one completed lamp. As I say, hope you've enjoyed. I hope I haven't made it too long-winded. Any questions, please leave. I think I've kept to the right safety standards. I will emphasise that if this is used in Europe, then obviously the outer case should be connected to earth and a 3-pin plug used. Anyhow, thank you once again for watching. Any comments, please subscribe. Thank you again. Finally, one last safety point. I don't think I mentioned this, so I'm going to mention it now. Obviously I've been using this without 2 of the covers on. As you see, one has got covers but the other one hasn't. I haven't got these, I've got to make them up. So obviously don't use without the covers on, because you could get a shock. Thank you again. Thank you.